thought it would be fun to talk about this next section that we are going to record. The section of the song is called Coalesce, and we call this the Conan section because it has a very Conan style riff and rhythm to it. But most importantly, I wanted to walk through the process that we go through to actually record a lot of these songs. Because I feel like there's like two different approaches that people use, and we wanted to get the best of both worlds. One approach people use is to build a tempo map and lay down every layer separately in the studio. And another approach bands use, especially young upcoming bands, is to record live in the studio, each instrument to its own tracks. But the advantage there being you get that really live feeling. The disadvantage being, you get less control over the overall output because you're all kind of limited to that, whatever take you go with. We do like a hybrid of both. So, sometimes for some of the sections, we will actually do the tempo map and layer from the ground up, which is cool. But for other sections, we actually have several live recordings of the song as we performed it. And so we look at which performance we like the best for each section. And if if we can find a performance that we like, what we'll actually do is we'll take that section of the song, put it in Reaper, and then build our layers from that. So I'm going to walk through and show you how we do that. So here we are in Reaper, and what we have set up here is, this little clipped version of the live version of the song, which I'll play for you right here. So the performance we felt like was good, but obviously, we recorded this on the go with a phone for this performance. So the quality's not there, but we like the rhythm and we like how we grooved on this track. So essentially, what I do here is I take this and use this as our scratch track to build our real scratch track on the guitar. So what I have is I've got bass scratch and guitar scratch set here. I'll walk through the hardware and how this gets routed into here. So here is how I get the guitar scratch tracks and the bass scratch tracks into Reaper. Now we've got an HX Stomp, and I've got this set up in basically a stereo loop here, where I've got my TRS guitar up on the top, and I got TRS bass down here at the bottom. We have my wireless unit plugged in here that supports the TRS and plugs in, the left and the right here as the inputs. We have a TRS cable here that goes to the effects loop. This goes to this little splitter down here. So this is a TRS cable that splits into dual mono cables. We have the bass effects here. So for the Conan section, we've got this green rhino with the 100 hertz boosted all the way up. We've got this green Russian big muff for the bass. And then for the guitar, we have our raw hearts distortion. This is the op bass distortion going into my op amp big muff. This creates like a really, really sick, thick tone. So this gets routed out of the pedal board into the returns on the HX Stomp. The outputs of the HX Stomp are routed to this mixing board. The way I have this mixing board set up is I have bass on channel 2, so I can use the compression here. And then we have this panned hard left, and we got the guitar panned hard right. Now, when I'm actually playing the performance coming through Reaper, this is also coming in through the mixing board into this channel, which has the USB in. What's really important is this is set to be routed to the monitors, so it's not routed back into the recording. So this allows me to listen to the live performance via the headphones while also listening to what I'm playing. And then in Reaper itself, we have, this is going to be basically the left channel, and this is going to be the right channel, just based on the panning. If I had set both of the guitar and bass to be center, I would be getting guitar and bass in both tracks. But by panning hard left and hard right, I'm able to separate them into different tracks. And so here is the bass. And then here's the guitar. Compared to just the live recording. So my job in between practices is to make sure that the guitar scratch tracks are ready to go, so that when we have practice, we can take the Reaper project into the band space. We got the drums all mic'd up and ready to go. We will take those guitar scratch tracks and run them into inner ear monitors for Jake to basically record drums. And then the beauty of that is that he can take as many takes as he wants, record drums as many times as we want, and we'll play around with it. We'll actually write here to change the parts to make it sound better. And then once the drum tracks are done, we toss the guitar scratch tracks and the bass scratch tracks. Now we've got the drum tracks that are finalized, ready to go. And then we mic up all of the guitar and bass cabinets and re-record the guitars and bass over the drums. Once we have that done, then we'll put in all the little finishing touches. We'll do the lead guitar, we'll do the vocals, and then we'll move on to the next section and rinse and repeat. Now, this is a process that works really well for us. Allows us to have a lot of fun experimenting in the studio with different sounds without being committed to a particular take that the band has done together. But also avoids the the effect of playing to a metronome all the time, of sounding almost too perfect and losing its kind of human element. So it really feels like the best of both worlds. So Coalesce is what we're working on next. We'll be moving into a section that we call Russian Circles 1 and 2, which is kind of inspired by their kind of riffs. And I'm hoping tracking will be done by the end of June.